When the author mentioned the musical instrument in the article lost for 600 years, Zheng He's fleet materials finally rediscovered. It's time for the false history's big lies to be completely ended. I posted a Sanal picture, as follows. This picture of Sanal comes from an ancient tomb of the Liao dynasty in Xiaobeilai, Suanhua district, Zhangjiakou city, Hebei province. The owner of the tomb is Zhang Kuangzhen. From 1974 to 1993, the Department of Cultural Relics of Hebei Province and the Department of Cultural Relics of Suanhua City successively excavated 9 tombs in the northeast of Xiaobeilai village in the west of Suanhua City. Walnuts, wine, large and small wooden tables, tub stands, 3-color pots, wooden bone and jade ornaments, wooden male and female figurines, warrior figurines, zodiac figurines, etc. The yellow glazed 3-color basin unearthed from the Liao tomb in Suanhua. Photo source, Cultural Protection Office of Suanhua District, Zhangjiakou City. In addition, there are a large number of exquisite murals. As a result, Suanhua Liao tomb was rated as top 10 national new archaeological discoveries in 1993. Each tomb is painted with murals of different scales. Among them, epitaphs were unearthed from 7 ancient tombs, spanning 24 years, belonging to the late Liao dynasty. Since the discovery of the tomb of Zhang Shiking in the 1970s, the Archaeological Department of Hebei Province has excavated a total of 17 Liao tombs here, including 12 tombs of Zhang Shiking's family, 2 tombs of Han Shixun's family, 2 tombs of Khitan nobles, and 1 tomb. It is an empty tomb, and there are still 5 Liao tombs that have been proven to be not yet excavated. The Zhang family cemetery can be divided into the southeast area centered on M10, the number of the 10th ancient tomb, the tomb of Zhang Kuangzhen, and the northwest area centered on M1, the first ancient tomb, the tomb of Zhang Shiking, is located in the southwest of Zhang Cemetery. The general distribution of the tombs is shown on page 5 of Suanhua Liao tombs. Among these tombs, the tomb owners with the highest status are the Yuban Dianzi of the Liao Kingdom, the Inspector Kuazijiju, the Supervisory Censor, Yunkawei, and Zhang Shiking, who was moved to Yingqing Konglu Doctor. Zhang Shiking is the grandson of Zhang Kuangzhen. Zhang Kuangzhen died in the 4th year of Daozong Qingning, 1058, and was reburied in the Xiaobeilai family cemetery in Suanhua in the 9th year of Daozong Duan, 1093. The murals of Suanhua Liao tomb are a major discovery of art archaeology in the Liao dynasty. Not only are they rich in content, diverse in subject matter, and skilled in technique, but also have large murals and many figures, which are rare in tombs of the Liao dynasty. According to statistics, among the ancient tombs that have been excavated, there are a total of 98 murals with a total area of 360 square meters. They are large in scale, rich in content, bright in color and well preserved. Sutra preparations, feasts, Khitan children dancing, children skipping rope, weeping lotus caissons, painted stars, 5 ghosts, Sanlawai chess, and detailed descriptions of grinding tea, waiting for soup, ordering tea, delivering tea, etc. There are pictures of tea preparation in the first process, travel pictures, and music and dance pictures common in Khitan, etc. If the tomb murals are classified, they can be divided into several categories such as architectural paintings, astronomical and astrological images, flower and bird decorations, and scenes of people's lives, home scenes, picnic banquets, religious beliefs. Among them, the pictures of feasting, drinking, warming wine, preparing tea, and relaxing music belong to the scenes of home life and are representative of the figure murals. The auspicious clouds, folded flowers, jellyfish, and treasured flowers and other flower and bird decorations are mainly depicted on leaning columns, bucket arches, doors, windows, tables and chairs, etc. The representatives of astronomical and astrological charts are the 28 constellations and the 12 signs of the zodiac. The focus here is Zhang Kuangzhen's tomb murals. Zhang Kuangzhen's tomb tea preparation picture. Murals on the west wall of the back room of Zhang Kuangzhen's tomb. The following murals are all from the tomb of Zhang Kuangzhen. There is also an astronomical star map painted on the top of the back room of Zhang Kuangzhen's tomb. The astrology map is circular, with the sun, moon, and other main stars drawn between the outer circle and the inner circle, and the 28 constellations are arranged according to the projection method. The inner circle is a 12-petal lotus pattern, and the flower core of the lotus pattern is a 6-petal peony pattern. In the center of the peony pattern, an iron rod is inlaid. From a distance, the overall shape of this astrological chart looks like this. Pay attention to the part circled in red in the middle, where an iron rod once fixed a wooden object here. Due to the age, after nearly 1,000 years, the wooden objects have fallen off, but the stains and peeling marks left by the fixed parts are clearly visible. The top of the wall is originally light gray, and the stain left by the fixed part is gray. The two are completely different. When restoring its original shape and outline along the fallen gray remains, I was surprised to find that it turned out to be a wooden world map. Illustration 36 of Ancient Map Code written by scholar Lu Gang, published by Guangxi Normal University Press in 2009. The above world map is oriented with north on top, and the top of the map is just facing the Big Dipper in the astrology chart. Therefore, Zhang Guangzhen's woodcut map of the world directly shows the direction of the map by facing the map of the Big Dipper. This is the earliest origin of the current well-documented map. North is the top as a direction indicator. According to the textual research in the book Ancient Map Code written by the scholar Lu Gang. Although there are no text marks on the fallen woodcut map, the outlines of Asia, Europe, Africa, North America, South America, Australia, and several major oceans are clearly shown. China is located in the center of the map, and Europe is located in the northwest of the map. Its area is relatively reduced. The Mediterranean Sea is drawn as a large open bay. The shape of the African continent is wide in the north and narrow in the south, forming a scalene triangle, with the southern cape pointing to the southeast. The outline of the Gulf of Guinea is easily recognizable. The Indian peninsula is exaggerated and deformed. The northeast corner of Asia is connected to the Americas. Surprisingly, the map shows the outlines of North and South America. Among them, several special geographic locations, such as Cape Blanco in Peru, Cape San Roque at the eastern tip of Brazil, and Cape Floyd at the southern tip of South America, can all be identified. The continent of Australia is shelved in the Indian Ocean with recognizable outlines. Although the location is wrong, the outlines of the Gulf of Australia to the south and the Gulf of Carpentaria to the north are clearly visible. Therefore, Zhang Guangzhen's woodcut world map is a world map that clearly includes the graphics of the continents inhabited by humans, except that the uninhabited Antarctic continent is missing, and the islands in the sea cannot be identified due to the reason of shedding. As for why the northeast corner of Asia is connected to America, it may have a lot to do with the influence of the military power of the Liao dynasty on Northeast Asia at that time. The narrowest part of the Bering Strait between Asia and America is only 37 kilometers. Due to its proximity to the Arctic Circle, it is completely possible to communicate by land when it freezes in winter. Interestingly, the error in Zhang Guangzhen's woodcut world map showing the connection of North America and Northern Asia also appeared on the Western world map, and this same error continued until the early 16th century, for example, Pietro Capo's world map of 1520. So, is Zhang Guangzhen's woodcut world map an isolated case? It's not true. In fact, according to historical documents, Shen Kuo, Zhu Shi and others in the Song Dynasty had woodcut maps, but the real objects of these woodcut maps have not been preserved to this day. In addition to woodcut maps, there are also maps recorded in literature, including paper maps, porcelain maps, stone maps, silk maps, inkstone maps, and so on. For example, shortly after the reunification of the Northern Song Dynasty, the first large-scale national general map, Chunhua Tianxia map, compiled and drawn in 993 used hundreds of pieces of silk, which is rare in the world. Draw it like a horse, and hide it in the secret mansion. In the early Northern Song Dynasty, the imperial court issued an edict to each state to draw a map of the region and submit it every leap year, so that the imperial court could update the data in time and serve as the basis for drawing a general map of the country. Since then, the general map of the country has been successively drawn into titles such as 10 Road Map, Mountain and River Situation Map, 9 Region Map, 18 Road Map and 17 Road Map. In addition to official maps, private individuals are also compiling general maps of the country. For example, Li Shi's Palm Hui map, Lu Zhexio's state and county map, the anonymous Yunyi map and the stone inscription Hui map, 9 domains keeping orders map, geographic map and so on. National general maps are also attached to national general chronicles such as Huangbiao Fangyu Tuzi by Wangzhou, Yuanfeng County Chronicles by Li Dechu, Kyushu Tuzi by Shuizhixuan, and Yudi Jishan by Wang Xiangji. In addition, The Song Dynasty also had a large number of geographical general records. Most of the local chronicles of the Song Dynasty are accompanied by local maps, such as the 13 attached drawings of Jiading Shikhan Chronicles. The drawing of foreign domain maps and frontier defense maps such as Khitan map and Western region map was also paid attention to. The Khitan map was mostly drawn by the imperial court after in-depth understanding of the Khitan border through various methods. Frontier defense maps depict mountains, rivers, city outlines, and fortresses inside and outside the country in detail, and have titles such as Maps of Frontiers, Maps of Mountains, Rivers, Counties, and Maps of Mountains, Rivers, and Walled Cities. Due to the developed overseas transportation, maps of overseas regions such as Overseas Regions Map, Overseas Pan-Geographical Map and Wei Countries Paying Tribute Map were also produced. In addition to the above-mentioned general maps of the whole country, regions, foreign domains, and frontier defenses that must be drawn in the past dynasties, the Song Dynasty also had various professional maps with various names, such as mountains and rivers, water conservancy, transportation, cities, political districts, etc., and the division of labor was meticulous. Picture. There are also many maps of administrative districts. The imperial court will compile maps according to roads, administrative divisions, every few years, such as 18 road maps, 17 road maps and so on. Shenkuo and others also compiled administrative maps. In the 9th year of signing, 1076, Shenkuo collected data extensively and adopted a new scientific drawing method to start compiling the map of prefectures and counties in the world. This map is extremely accurate and world-leading. The line draft of Wei map, drawn between the 7th year of Zheng and the 7th year of Suan He, 1117 to 1125, in the northern Song Dynasty. According to literature records, a geographer from the 5 dynasties to the early northern Song Dynasty and a native of Fuzhou Leshi, 930-1007, once painted a map of Wei in his palm on the outer wall of a Jizhukil porcelain jar. The helmet of General Kong Yulang with the inscription Duan Ping Ernian, 1235, in the southern Song Dynasty. This map of Wei is similar to Zhang Kuangzhen's woodcut world map. In the center of the Pacific Ocean, the direction of the upper north and right east is first drawn, the brush with the thickest glaze paint. The outlines of the Asia-Pacific region, the first island chain, the Nansha Islands, Kalimantan, the Indonesian archipelago, and Australia presented in the picture are all obvious. Generally speaking, the original concepts of the 3 continents of Asia, Europe, and Africa have been formed. Although Africa and America are drawn together as an overlapping continent that runs through the northern and southern hemispheres. Zhang Kuangzhen's woodcut map of the world is very similar to the comprehensive map of the world drawn by Lu Xian in 1722. When Lu Xian drew the complete map of the world, he just referred to ancient Chinese map documents. It is not surprising that the Song Dynasty was able to draw a preliminary map of the world, because it was built on the accumulation of geography in the Tang Dynasty. In the Tang Dynasty, the eunuch Yang Lianjiao went on a mission in the name of a foreign envoy. He was the first official diplomatic envoy to go to the West in Chinese history, 620 years earlier than Zheng He. The official exchanges between Tang Dynasty and Heidi are recorded in the Old Tang Book and the New Tang Book. In addition, in 1984, a piece of Yang Lianjiao Shinto monument was found near Zaiwayang village, Yunyang town, Jingyang county, Shaanxi province. Putting down the rebellion in Huixi and so on. The monument of the divine way of the former Emperor Yang Fezhun, Liang Yao, of the Tang Dynasty. The inscription records, Yang Lianjiao, a native of Longjihun Township, Yunyang County, Jingzhou Prefecture, Tang Dynasty, now Yunyang Town, Jingyang County, Xianyang. His ancestor was Shangfu, the son of King Xian of Zhou, and he was called Marquis Yang because he was conferred the title of Ziyang. Yang Lianjiao seldom takes integrity as his aspiration and deed, but always takes loyalty and courage as his duty, and he has been very ambitious since then. During this high reign of Emperor Suzong of Tang Dynasty, 756 to 758, Yang Lianjiao became an eunuch serving the emperor when he was 21 to 23 years old. Yang Lianjiao has been sent to many places as an envoy many times, and he has made outstanding achievements in the battlefield for a long time. He traveled north and south many times in his life, serving as envoys from east to west, but the most important major mission was when he sailed to the west as a diplomatic envoy of the Tang Dynasty and arrived at Dashi in Black in the Middle East. At the beginning of the Zhen Yuan period, it was difficult for the Qing invaders, the world was peaceful, and there was no wave in the world. 9 translations entered the audience. In the past, it was difficult to choose an envoy in the Western Han Dynasty. Outside the emperor thinks about him. It is not public to compare talents and abilities. MOK. In April of the first year of Zhen Yuan, 685, he was given fee bags to serve as state envoys in black clothes and food, to prepare judges, to be in charge, to accept national letters and imperial edicts. To carry out according to orders, not to be afraid of being far away. Near the South China Sea, he abandons the land and boards the boat. Miao looks fearless and dangerous, and has an awe-inspiring look. His righteousness inspires left and right, and he is loyal to ghosts and gods. So he cut his hair to worship waves. Today, when fishermen in the coastal areas of Guangdong go fishing, they still cut their hair. Hair, the custom of offering sacrifices to the god of the sea. After the Song Dynasty, it gradually evolved into as a pilgrimage, bowing to the sun and the crowd, so Yang Ho restrained the waves, screened the shade to adjust the wind, hung the sail to ride the sweaty sky, and raised the oar to ride the chi of Hao Miao. Then the magic lamp shows the road, may refer to the nautical lighthouse built by the Arabs on the coast of the Indian Ocean, and the daytime is the front of the fairy beast, when referring to sea creatures such as dolphins, which often swim and jump in front of the ship. In all nations, the emperor's style is spread in the customs, and the sound is taught in the boundless. The round trip is on schedule, and the fate will not fall. Zhen Yuan, in June of the 4th year, 788, he was transferred to the doctor. In July, the founder of Hungnong County was granted the title of 300 households in Xi'ai. At present, the map of Zhen He's voyages in the Ming Dynasty mentioned in the textbooks is actually the map of Yang Lianjiao's voyages to the Western Seas in the Tang Dynasty, not Zhen He's global cruising map. The real road map was deliberately destroyed up. Kanyu Jishen, official account, Kanyu Jishen. Overturn cognition, Zhen He's treasure ship is nearly 10,000 tons, and Zhen He's fleet is an aircraft carrier class task force. Chinese steam engines have been studied in the West for 600 years, and aircraft carrier technology has been learned for 500 years. In fact, China has records of sailing and boat building since the pre-Qin period. There are both official records and folk records in the past dynasties, and the content involves the art of astrology, nautical charts, compass, ship construction technology, watertight cabin technology and so on. During the Three Kingdoms period, Suqiao's official records included tens of thousands of people in a fleet that went to sea, and some islands in Taiwan and Southeast Asia were also discovered. Qinglong town in Shanghai is also an important port for the construction of Qinglong warships. In the Tang Dynasty, trade along the maritime Silk Road starting from Guangzhou and other places was very developed. It is recorded in the New Tang Book and the Old Tang Book Geography, and there are also envoys with Haidashi, the capital of Baghdad in today's Iraq and Syria. According to official records, there was an eunuch named Yang Lianjiao who had made outstanding achievements as an envoy. If maritime trade was blocked and navigation was underdeveloped in the Tang Dynasty, where did a large number of spices and objects for overseas trade, Silla maidservants, Kunlun slaves, black slaves, etc. come from? Kanyu Jishen, official account, Kanyu Jishen. All evidence points to the fact that the first world map of the Ming Dynasty, Kanyu Wanduo Quantu, was drawn based on the mother map of Zhen He's fleet. In addition to historical map documents and materials, the development of overseas trade and the maritime Silk Road in the Song Dynasty was also a prerequisite for the creation of a preliminary world map. At that time, China had several conditions that other countries did not have. 1. Possessed the material foundation and scientific and technological capabilities of the Great Sea Voyage. 2. Capable of measuring latitude and longitude around the world. 3. Possess the method, implementation ability, and conditions of geodetic triangulation. 4. It has the mathematical processing ability of data transformation and projection drawing. In other words, China had already met the above-mentioned conditions and capabilities for surveying and mapping the world before the 11th century, and these capabilities and conditions were not gradually available in the West until the middle of the 18th century. It is a fact generally accepted by Western academic circles that Westerners arrived at the edge of Antarctica in 1820 and discovered the Antarctic continent for the first time. However, the amazing thing is that many ancient Western maps do not talk about martial arts, and all of them were drawn first. Some, or even the entire outline of the Antarctic continent. This makes the fact seem extremely embarrassing. At the beginning of the 20th century, the West announced that several ancient maps from the 15th and 16th centuries had been discovered, drawn by Europeans or Arabs. Some of these ancient maps were drawn even before false lumber arrived in America in 1492, but they clearly show the American continent, and even the outline of the land of Antarctica is very clear. In 1507, the German cartographer Martin Waldseemüller, also translated as Waldseemüller, drew a map of the world, which regarded most of Asia, Europe, and Africa as the Western Hemisphere, and East Asia and America as the Western Hemisphere, showing not only the outline of the South American continent, but also the direction of the Andes Mountains and major rivers in South America. The figure also outlines the Pacific Ocean and Atlantic Ocean, showing that the Pacific Ocean is larger than the Atlantic Ocean. But here comes the question, why was this map drawn earlier than the time when Westerners discovered the Pacific Ocean and the Antarctic continent? In 1507, no Westerners had been to Antarctica, so how could they know the outline of the coastline of the Antarctic continent? In 1929, Turkish historians claim to have discovered a Piraeus map drawn in the 16th century. It is said that this map is a world map drawn by Admiral Piri Reis of the Ottoman dynasty in 1513, and it has been preserved incompletely. This map uses the equidistant azimuthal projection mapping method to map the coastline of South America and part of the coastline of Antarctica. The map of Piraeus, 1513. According to Piri Reis's notes, he claimed that he drew this map with reference to many materials, including ancient materials from the Alexander period, and a picture from a high-altitude perspective. Interestingly, this image bears a striking resemblance to the chirocentric image drawn by the Citigroup Air Force. The 1531 Phenos world map also mapped the complete coastline of Antarctica. The map uses the positive axis azimuth projection method, and the outline of Antarctica in the map is very close to the modern map. At that time, Westerners had not yet discovered the Antarctic continent. So, how did Westerners draw the outline of the Antarctic continent in 1531? How did they know there was an Antarctic continent? Since this problem cannot be explained, we can only rule out the theory of prehistoric civilization or aliens. The world map of Phineas from 1531. In 1546, the Italian geographer Giacomo Gastadei, also translated as Gastadei, drew a map of the world. The outline of the Antarctic continent in the picture is almost the same as today, and the Central America area is also clearly visible. 1546 Gastadei world map. The world map of Testu in 1555 and the map of the world of Florian in 1555 also have the Antarctic continent discovered in 1820. Mercator's 1569 map also shows the Antarctic continent. Pay attention to the lower part of the map. Abraham Ortelius, Cosmos, world map in ellipse projection, Antwerp, 1570, with Antarctic continent. A map nearly identical to the one above was drawn up by the Dutch in 1570, from Theatrum Orbis Terrarum. One Belgian and one Dutch became twins, which is really amazing. The 1593 Judd Southern Hemisphere map draws the outline of the entire Antarctic continent. How did you know this, and how did you do it? In the field of map history, almost everyone knows that Westerners only gradually mastered the method of judging latitude from the middle of the 15th century. However, to draw a world map, it is not enough just to know the latitude, but also to be precise with the longitude. However, how to measure longitude and how to judge it? In this regard, the Westerners were at a loss, and for more than 200 years since then, they have been stuck in the trouble of judging the longitude. Yes, I haven't understood the calculation and measurement of longitude for more than 200 years, and I don't know how to judge it. However, the amazing thing is that those European genius cartographers in the 14th and 15th centuries did not seem to need to master the skills of calculating longitude, nor did they need to measure and perform mathematical calculations. Then, they could correct the longitude at will. Human error, and quite right. Regarding drawing the world map with North, Arctic, as the top of the map, the scholar Mr. Lugang wrote in the 3rd chapter of the Code of Ancient Maps. Derived from traditional culture, ancient Chinese cartography has formed a map specification with the north as the top in the 13th century. When ancient Chinese cartographers generally abide by this specification, they still strictly follow the drawing principle of the east as the top, and the Islamic cartographers use the south as the top of the map. Strangely, by the 15th century, European and Islamic cartographers had changed their mapping traditions and habits, and changed the direction marks on maps. An unprecedented leap. What?